This poster kicks ass, this soundtrack kicks ass, and well, there are a lot of other things in this movie that kick ass, and I'm gonna talk about them. Let's take this thing and put it right here like this. And can't forget this VHS that has this cool 3D moving hologram card in the cover. I could do this all day. I almost had to watch the movie from this VHS that isn't in very good condition anymore because it has been watched so many times already. So yeah, the new Blu-ray 20th anniversary edition was supposed to come out in stores 27th of June. Well, did it? No, no it didn't. Neither it did in 28th or the 29th or even the 30th. It wasn't in stores. You could get it from different websites, but I didn't realize I didn't do that because I actually thought that I would get it from like actual stores, but it turned out that something had happened with the import or something like that, and they just didn't arrive. Uh, and it kind of sucks because I wanted to watch this movie before I would watch the sequel. I've already seen the sequel, but I had to watch the first movie after that. But hey, it doesn't matter that much. And I'm gonna talk about the new Blu-ray after this review. But hey, let's start. So, Independence Day, shortly known as ID4. I think it comes from like Independence Day 4th, like 4th of July. I'm not sure, but I think it's that way. So yeah, this is easily one of my guilty pleasure movies. It's in my top five. Uh, this movie has so many things wrong in it, but also so many things right in it. This was a huge hit in 1996, the biggest movie of that year. It made the most money, $800 million, over $800 million. That's a lot of money. I think it went to the top three uh, in the 90s. And I think then I know the reasons why it became such a big hit. First of all, the brilliant marketing campaign with this White House blowing up. It looked really cool, and well, we hadn't really seen anything like that before. Plus, it just came at the right time. People were interested in extraterrestrial things. X-Files was a huge thing in the 90s. And I actually have a few X-Files tapes that have the first teaser trailer of this movie uh, in it, in them. But even though this was a huge hit, it wasn't really a hit with critics because, well, movie critics didn't really like this movie. They said that the characters were extremely stereotypical, the story was laughable, and the dialogue was laughable, and it was just a dumb movie. But I think nobody could say that the special effects were poor because they were not. And obviously, the biggest praise was because of the amazing special effects. But we'll talk about that. Uh, I'll talk about that a bit later. So this was directed by Roland Emmerich and produced by Dean Devlin. They had worked before together with Moon 44 and Stargate, and after this they worked with in Godzilla, for example. These two guys also wrote the whole movie in 3 weeks. And I could say, and I think many will agree with me, that this is their best movie. They haven't been able to top this one, and this is definitely a very, very memorable movie. It's a big milestone in summer blockbuster movies. This has a pretty uh, recognizable cast. Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, and Will Smith. Will Smith wasn't really a big name at the time. I mean, he had been in uh, Fresh Prince of Bel Air and Bad Boys, but this movie, I think this one made him a big star. Jeff Goldblum, I think, was already a big star because of Jurassic Park. Bill Pullman, I don't really know. I think he was in that kids movie Casper, that with that little ghost and stuff like that. But I don't really know any other movies before this one that he would have been in. So Jeff Goldblum plays, I don't know, some kind of a smart guy. I don't really remember, like, I've seen this movie so many times, but I still can't remember, like, what his job is. He talks about something like he's some kind of a cable guy or something. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about that because I really am not sure. I can't remember. Uh, Will Smith's character is a soldier, and Bill Pullman plays the President of United States. Oh, and by the way, happy Independence Day, all American people. Happy 4th of July. I hope you have a great day. If there are any people from America who watch me. So the biggest complaint was the characters. They were stereotypical, kind of lame, forgettable. I think they're far from forgettable. I remember all of these characters. I like all of these characters, all these three guys here. Um, they do their job well. The actors, the acting is, I think, it's pretty good. Yeah, there's some people who uh, are not that convincing, but mostly the acting is good. And yes, maybe the characters are a bit one-dimensional, but they are still likable because of the, I don't know, is it the dialogue that has always also been complained about, but I think the things they do and say and the situations they get in, I think it just makes these characters likable, at least to me. There's also this redneck guy, played by Randy Quaid. He's a funny guy. And this mad scientist guy, Professor Oaken, played by Brent Spiner, who plays Data in Star Trek, the Next Generation. He's a very funny guy. My favorite character in the whole movie. And then there's that one slightly gay guy with a very weird, like, voice. He screams. He's a friend of David. Uh, like he screams like David, David. He has a very weird voice. It's hard to mimic. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this guy's voice. Maybe like his vocal cords are damaged or something. I don't know because he actually talks like that in real life. So what is the story? The story is very basic. Bad aliens invade Earth and want to kill us so that they could use our resources and then move to other planets. That's the basic plot. A little slightly more detailed plot would be that this huge spaceship uh, approaches Earth, then tinier spaceships that are still as big as like major cities in the world uh, land like above biggest cities, blow them up. And well, yeah, aliens want to kill us, and we have to find out how to destroy these aliens, or maybe how to make contact with them, make peace. Well, you probably already know that the peace thing, it doesn't really work. This movie actually takes a lot of inspiration from movies like Star Wars and stories like War of the Worlds. Actually, the story is pretty much the same as in War of the Worlds. Some people may say that it takes too much, in like too many things from Star Wars. There are very similar things, like this Death Ray. Those ships kind of remind me of Death Star and how they blow up things and stuff like that. Plus, those dogfights, those aerial battles, kind of remind me of Star Wars a lot. And like I already mentioned at the beginning of the video, the soundtrack is amazing. I actually have it on cassette. Yes, cassette. I listened to it in my car. It only has a cassette player, by the way. It's that old. This is one of David Arnold's best movie scores, definitely. One of my favorites. It's very epic and kind of sounds very patriotic in a way. There's those drums kind of make it sound very I don't know how could I say it, army like. You probably know when you hear that soundtrack. David Arnold also worked with Roland Emmerich in Stargate and Godzilla, but after that they didn't continue together. I don't really know why. And yes, David Arnold was not in making the music in the new Independence Day, which was a sad thing. And now, easily the strongest uh, thing in this movie is obviously the special effects. And oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about the special effects, but I will just say a few things in this video. They hold up extremely well. This movie is now 20 years old. A lot of movies that are that old, the special effects in them have aged badly, or some of the things in most movies 20 years old that just don't look that great anymore. But I think Independence Day still looks convincing most of the time. And CGI wasn't actually used that much in this movie. This was, Roland Emmerich has said that this was one of the last big movies to use so many practical effects. All those buildings blowing up, and most of the planes and these alien ships and everything, all of the alien ships, pretty much 90% of the time were miniatures. In the 90s, Hollywood was definitely going forward and approaching CGI. Movies like Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park really changed things up. But this movie didn't go that route, and I think it was a good thing, because if this movie would have used CGI in the destruction scenes and stuff like that, I think this film wouldn't actually look that great anymore. There's so many cool looking things in this movie, like those huge spaceships hovering over the cities. There's so well made scenes and great looking shots. And obviously, the destruction has been made really well. And I would say the destruction actually, it just looks more appealing than most of the stuff, most of the destruction in today in movies. I also really like the designs in the movie. Some may argue that they are very unoriginal, lack imagination, but I think they really worked, especially these uh, tiny spaceships, or tiny and tiny, they're pretty huge in the movie, but yeah, the alien designs are cool. Again, people like Roger Ebert, if you know that American movie reviewer, complained about the designs that they were just like tentacle people, very generic alien design, but I like them. They look very menacing. Yeah, but how about the negative things? Because they are negative things. This is definitely not a perfect movie. The writing is definitely lazy. There are things when they actually need to explain something, they explain it very quickly, and you kind of don't really understand how the hell is that things possible when something a bit complicated happens. I don't really want to go into too many details because if somebody hasn't seen this movie, and I don't really like to spoil movies, even though this movie is pretty old and many people have seen it. And yeah, how the story unfolds and stuff like that, it feels a bit lazy, honestly, but it doesn't bother me because there's so many other positive things in it that I kind of can forgive. I also think you could have got a lot more out of this whole idea, be a bit more serious in times when you really need to be, and kind of make people think. A bit more drama, a bit more seriousness in places, and this could have been story-wise a lot more better. My biggest problem is the aliens. They are so one-dimensional. They're just evil aliens. They want to kill us to use our resources and then leave the planet. That's it. That's really it. We don't really know much about their bigger plans. There are few mentions that they're trying to invade our planets. Like we see, there are when uh, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum go inside the mothership, we can actually see armies of aliens ready to go to the Earth. But the whole thing lasts like few seconds. It goes and then it goes away. It never really gets mentioned again. I would have liked to see more stuff from the perspective of aliens. They could also be not really lazy, but just a choice Emmerich did to make them feel more threatening because we don't really know much about them. Some may also say that the first act was the only good thing, and then the film drags the rest of the time. Yeah, I can understand why people say something because like that because really the destruction scene at the end of the first act really um, is the strongest thing in the whole movie. Like it's the most powerful thing in the movie, and the other two acts um, they just may not match the level of the first act to some people. I think all the acts are exciting. Also, don't you guys think that the aliens are slightly dumb? It just feels weird how we can win them. It feels that we win them so easily. That's also because of the lazy writing. It may not be that easy to believe that we tiny humans just can win them. It feels that we are able to beat the aliens way too easily. And that doesn't really make any sense. aliens that have created these massive ships and are able to destroy our large cities in no time can suddenly be defeated by few people. That's kind of crazy, but at the same time, it just gives this movie a lot more charm. There are definitely effective things in this movie. There's some drama that works, like little spoilers here when the president's wife dies. That's slightly sad, I think. The humor that's in this movie, it really works. I laughed in many parts in this movie. I've always laughed, not just as one time when I saw it the first time, but every time when I see this movie, I just laugh in the same parts. The humor really works and makes this a kind of light-hearted movie. I guess suitable for the whole family. This is a dumb, uh, feel-good and harmless movie that has power to catch your attention. I think it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. 4 stars is slightly too much, so 3.5. It's dumb, but a lot of fun. Strongest aspect is the visuals. Okay, I guess that was it. And now about the Blu-ray. So, for a long time, this was the definitive version for me because it had the theatrical cut and the new extended cut. This DVD came out in 2001, so this is pretty old, and the picture quality isn't that great. And I also hated that this sound quality, when all those big explosions happen, um, the sound goes down, the volume goes down for some reason, and it kind of ruins the experience for me. But for a long time, this was the definitive version because the very first Blu-ray that came out in 2008, I guess, it only had the theatrical version. Until this year, when we finally got a new release that is this one. The 20th anniversary edition includes two versions, theatrical and extended cut, finally on Blu-ray, and also on 4K UHD Blu-ray, but I don't have a 4K TV or a 4K player, and I'm not planning to buy one in the near future. So this to me right now is the definitive version of this movie. Has a lot of extras, pretty much all of the extras, as in this old DVD release, plus a new documentary. So how does this compare to the original Blu-ray? Where obviously the picture is a lot more detailed, and the colors apparently are a lot closer to the original prints that were shown in movie theaters back in 1996. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you don't own Independence Day on Blu-ray, and even if you have the old Blu-ray, replace it with this one. This is a really good deal. It only was like 8 euros, at least in Finland, and it isn't that much more expensive in other places. So definitely get this one. Well, I actually had to pay something like 65 euros because this was actually part of the thing called Attacker Edition that came with this cool model here that you saw there in the review. And then little booklet with concept art in it. Cool box set. Next I will review the sequel Independence Day Resurgence. Review of that will come pretty shortly after this review has arrived. So stay tuned.